Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. I'm Britt, creator of The Style Shaker, and today we are sitting down to talk about beauty and some other stuff. We're gonna do new clean beauty on the face, and we'll go a little bit deeper than that. So if you wanna learn how I pulled this look together, it's actually pretty simple, I promise. Then stick around and let's get into it. I completely forgot to wish you guys a happy holidays. I know it's a weird time for some. We'll talk about that more in a second, but thank you for being here. Grateful for you. And let's put on some makeup. Just washed my face, ready to put some stuff on it. Feeling a little dry. There has been so much heat blasting where I am, so my skin's going through that, like the beginning of winter, there's that adjustment period. So I have the RMS. I use the tiniest amount of this stuff, you guys. I do not use a lot of it on my face because I have SPF on, which is kind of comical since I'm not gonna be going outside because it's, I don't know, 7 degrees, totally normal. Just blend this in. And that was less than a pea-size amount of product. Wild. Wild. This is, welcome to Brunch with Britt. I'm not actually eating brunch right now, but I'm trying to post these around brunchy times because that's one of my favorite things to do. I haven't done it a lot out here in the South. I used to do it quite a bit in San Francisco, and it was really fun. Anyway, I'm trying the TYPOLOGY concealer. This was gifted to me. This is PR gifted, under no obligation to review over here. I have been testing it out. I'm going to do a scorecard on the site. I am liking it quite a bit. Moisturizing and lightweight. It does not feel like slick or anything like that, like a silicone heavy product would. It's just moisturizing and lightweight, and I'm enjoying it. And I'm also finding pressing it in with my finger is a lot easier than using a brush, which I rarely say. Rarely say. The other thing I'm liking about this is that it goes across the rest of the face really nicely as well. I am caffeinated, but I feel like I could use another coffee. I do find this to crease. Pretty much everything I put under my eyes will crease, but I use a little bit of a silica-based powder, like the Fortini or something else like that, or the Ilia has one too, and I just apply it underneath, and it seems to really do the trick. And I do like the lightest touch. It will mute the brightness a little bit for most all concealing products, I find, but if you use a very small amount, it's very hard to tell. Also, the thinner layer you put on, the less texture you'll see or cakiness. I don't see that with this. You could always put it on. Do you see that plume? I hate that. You could always put it on beforehand too and just sort of give it a second to set. I'm changing things up around here, but I want to first ask, how are you? How are you doing? How's everything going? It's the holidays. This can be a great time for some and a not so great time for some. Just wanted to check in, see what's up, see how you're holding up. I've been okay over here. Been okay. Kind of interesting times, but really good. Last week, or this week, it's still this week, I ended up, so I closed season 1 of the podcast. FYI, I realized I can actually have seasons, which technically I could be doing on YouTube as well instead of just going and going for 5+ years, which is just kind of insane when you think about it. But anyway, I closed season 1. To be honest, I kind of just needed a little bit of a break. That first season was incredible. I had no idea what I was doing. I just knew I wanted to start a podcast because I wanted to talk to inspiring people. I love the people that I work with, but it's like the same conversation over and over again. I don't love all the people that I work with, by the way, corporately. I'm not gonna lie to you. I won't lie now. But there is a handful of people that I'm very, very lucky and grateful to be working with. Nobody likes everybody that they work with, let's be honest. I'm sure there are people that definitely don't like me at work too. The podcast was this magical little space where I could talk to really cool people. And anyway, I say all that because I kind of took a step back for a second just to reconvene, think about what I want to do for the second season. I can't believe there's going to be another season. I had 29 episodes the first season, which is crazy. My goal was to get to 10, so I passed my goal. This past week, I've had calls almost every day with new guests. So the docket is filling up with new guests, and some of the conversations, there was one about manifesting, which it was just so cool the way that I met this person. And then one is about, from a business consultant, but we're talking about really doing projects from a heart-centric perspective. It was just, you guys, it's like, it's exciting. It's exciting. Still loving this bronzer. really enjoying it. Posted a video about it, bombed, ba-bomb, bomb, 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 bomb. Shouldn't probably say that. Makes me think of the movie with Ben Stiller and De Niro. What is that? Meet the Fockers, that's right. Anyway, so all in all, good week, but then the reason I bring that up is because I was looking at my analytics over here, and it's so funny. On Google, on YouTube, it says, you guys know probably, there's so many, from a creator standpoint, we're inundated with it. There's a lot of what's called social media wars. TikTok versus Instagram versus this, and it's like following an algorithm and making it work and like changing with the algorithm, and it's just chasing and reacting. I had a moment where I was looking at performance of things. November did so well, funnily enough. I think this can translate to most people. I sort of just stopped focusing on it and it started doing really well. This tends to be a pattern in my life. It's not that there's no work. I'm just not ruminating on performance daily, right? I looked at it in December and this channel's just not been doing really well for December. And that's okay, but it's also kind of not okay, but this is a part of the whole thing. I've done this for 5 years now, so you stick around and you see how it goes. There was one metric that I was looking at, and there's a dashboard that you can see, and it says views, looking good, up from last week, and then it said something like engagement or whatever the metric was, and it said about the same as usual, and I started thinking to myself, am I okay with being about the same? Like a year from now, would I want to go about the same? Yeah, I'm pretty good about the same. Am I at a point in my life where I want to say that and be cool with it? No, I'm not. We can all get caught up in this hamster wheel of, this isn't like I have to be better or I need to achieve more. It's really more about feeling. It's really more about looking inward, which is interesting because I think a long time ago, if I'd have heard that or seen that, and I'm saying, okay, I said a long time ago, but let's keep it real here. That was like maybe a year ago. Actually, I still want the bronzer. Do you see how it's just kind of a great warm up? So if I would see that, I would go, what do I need to do? Post more, do this, all the external stuff. For one reason or another, I actually think it has a lot to do with the fact that I have been speaking with these different guests on my podcast. Now I'm going inward, so I'm going, okay, well, if it's about the same and that doesn't feel great, how can I change it starting inside out, right? You guys are probably like, yeah, duh, we know. It's annoying, sorry, I had mascara flaking right there. It's driving me nuts. So what does that mean? I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't have an answer here. That's not what this is about. This is just sort of sitting down and talking about makeup and talking about random life stuff and hoping that something might resonate with somebody watching or make you at least feel like you're not alone. About the same. Thank you, no thank you. I am reading this book, and by reading I mean listening to on my phone. Crap, I forgot. The Art of Possibility. It's recommended to me by a friend who's a coach a long time ago. And I've never read it. I mean, it was recommended, it had to be at least 5 years ago. I'm on probably chapter 2 at this point. It was perfect timing too, because in that chapter, the author is talking about an exercise that they give and they use to just test people and how the mind works. I haven't used this in forever, 100% pure bronzer, forever. I'm just feeling like it's cold out and I want to bronze. So, she was talking about an exercise where there's dots on a page and you're told that you need to connect all the dots, or the people who are in this group, this focus group, whatever it is. I'm gonna butcher this, guys. Read the book, please. Connect the dots and that's it. And so people get tripped up, but people who see things outside of just what was written are like, well, I can connect the dots, but I can just draw another dot. That is like probably the worst explanation of this ever. But what I'm trying to say is, and what the author was saying way more eloquently than I am, is we look at what's there and we assume based off of what we've learned, the rules that we've made up for ourselves, what's possible. And what we neglect to do, or what we do by that, is we actually, by assigning a meaning or assigning a rule based off of our past, we're constricting our frame of reference. So we're not even seeing what's possible, is the gist. Did that make sense? Really hope so. All I know is that it stuck with me, and when I was looking at About the Same on my YouTube channel and I was thinking about what I do, and I've been doing the same thing, not exactly the same, always tweaking and evolving, and you guys know that. I mean, sometimes I'll post shorts and sometimes I'll do this, and I'm always testing and learning. But now there's sort of taking that next step back where I'm not in this reactive frame. That's the thing. I just feel like everything's very reactive, and then I've gone and looked at the external, and I don't know, just when you have those weeks and people are saying the same thing over and over again to you, like this past week, it was very much so feeling heart-centric. What do you want to feel? How do you want it to look? How do you want to feel? Just all of the heart-centric things that I have basically shoved down to the bottom of my soul. Very melodramatic, but I've done that having been in corporate for over 15 years. So there's a level of unlearning happening here, and I've done the same thing in corporate. I've applied that to the YouTube channel, and it's just an interesting thing. It's just interesting, and I really, if you take anything away from this outside of the product that I'm using, examine what rules you might have created for yourself and ask yourself, is that an actual rule? Like, do I need to drive on this side of the street? Because if not, then I'm gonna get hit by a car. Or is that something that you created for a problem, or you created a solution for something back in the day and you're still using that solution today? And is it working for you? And what does working for you feel like? It's weird. Try it. It's very weird for somebody like me. I'm like trying to feel my way through it. And yet how weird is that? Because that's exactly how I've always been when I was little. When I was a kid, it was very much so like that. Creativity, feeling, and then, you know, you have to learn your way through things and adjust, and paychecks and taxes and stuff like that. Redefining what's possible, redefining the rules is kind of where I'm at right now. So I'm posting this on a Sunday, and I'm gonna send it out with an email. And when I'm looking at my dashboard and I see the videos that perform, when I'm looking at my analytics, the videos that perform the most for me are, well, I guess I could redefine performance, but I think traditional terms, so they're watched, they have higher views, higher subscriber counts. Those are the two main things. The solo product reviews. But what's crazy is the average watch time for something like that on my channel is so low. I create these videos and people watch like maybe 2 to 3 minutes of it. And that's fine, because what I've noticed is people just kind of go down the rabbit hole on my channel. So it serves a purpose in the fact that it's giving information, but there's no heart behind it. It's really just information, and that's okay. But the ones that people watch longer and my subscribers come back for, usually, but most importantly, this is selfish possibly to say as a creator, but most importantly, the ones that I tend to really be more excited about are the Get Ready With Me's. So sometimes letting go of a rule that's working pretty well, this is what my guess is, this is what my hope is. Letting go of the rule that's served its purpose and served me and done pretty well, maybe that opens up a pathway or a possibility or another door that could serve me incredibly well. So I'm settling for this autopilot. It's worked, yeah, it's worked, but maybe it's just not lighting me up anymore. So I don't know if you have anything in your life that you've been doing for a long time. It doesn't even have to be a super long time. And it's doing its thing, you know, it's chugging along. But when you start looking inward, you start becoming way more aware of things. And is it really serving you? Or is it just sort of comfortable? I don't know the answer. This is where my mind goes on a Saturday afternoon. Who I am. By the way, the more I use the Tower 28 mascara, the more I like it for volume, but it sure does flake on me. I don't know if y'all have had that experience, but wow, it is becoming quite the flaking mascara the longer I have it. It's drying out, so that's a huge part of it. But it's not that old. And then what I do is I put the Caloray tubing mascara on top, which I believe was a recommendation from one of you brilliant humans on this channel, which thank you. Sorry, I can't remember who recommended it. This way it's easier to get off and I don't pull the lashes. Really adds some nice length and builds nicely on top of the Tower 28 without clumping. Kind of a great little combo. Get the mini from one of these. You don't have to get full size. I actually prefer minis. I've said it a million times over here for mascaras. I don't know. They're better for me. I really just want to glow on the face. It's like a bronzy, I'm channeling this bronzy, summery glow in the middle of winter. What? I don't know. Feels good. Get it? Oh, feeling our way through things. Show yourself a little grace. It's a crazy time of year. Also, I feel like whenever I post a favorites roundup, one of the brands inevitably goes out of business. So it's a hard time for beauty founders and retailers and small businesses particularly don't have backing or funding. That's why I'm actually featuring this, because this is from Minori. It's also really truly one of the best highlighters I've used on my skin. It goes on so flawlessly and it sinks in. Well, not technically, but it looks like it is. And it just, what am I doing now? That's it? Oh my God, that was so fast. And this is from a smaller company, lesser known, Soch. And I don't know if that's the right way to say it. Still, I haven't asked the brand. Soch? Like social? That's kind of how I go with it. Anyway, I fell in love with this color recently, and you're about to see why in about 5 seconds. Said it once, I've said it a million times on something else, but lipstick makes me happy. It really does. This isn't like a traditional lipstick. It's definitely in a traditional lipstick packaging. Untraditional is that there are refills available. Yes! Come on, guys. So good. This is the shade Wine Stained. And there's, I believe there's skincare benefits to this. It's LA-based brand. So sorry if I'm saying the name wrong, but I will write it in the description and I will reach out to the brand at some point so I can correct myself like a true professional. But it feels lovely, and I've been testing this as well. There's going to be a scorecard on the site. I'm going to be doing a lot more scorecards hopefully, and I might actually be doing a site relaunch. That's another thing. It's been doing its thing the way it has, but the template that I've been using is just taking too long, and it's taking too long for me to get these reviews to you. We'll see, that might be changing too, but there will be a review for this. It feels divine. It feels really nice, almost like a lightweight, silkier version of the Ilia Balmy Tints. I keep looking down here thinking like something else has to go on my face, and yet, no. I really should have washed my hair before this, but you know what? C'est la vie. There it is. That's the face. It is bronzer for eyeshadow, bronzer all over the face. It's very bronzer forward. Then we have this beautiful stained lip, and that sets me up to go about trying new things and breaking my own internal rules and maybe meditating some more. You guys heard me say this last time. I have been meditating more, and 9 times out of 10 when I do that, it does bring stuff up. It can be tricky, but it also can be kind of great. I just think it's inside. What we're looking for, the answers that we're looking for, a lot of them for myself, I'll speak for myself, there's something inside that wants to come out. That's why I do writing as well. Writing is a really great way to do this. So I don't know, we're gonna see. We're gonna go on this little journey, but happy holidays to you. I hope you have an amazing holiday, whatever that means to you. And if you're struggling right now, you're not alone. I just want to send positive, good vibes out your way and give you a hug, because I know it can be hard, and nobody really knows until they're in your shoes. But I'm sending love out to those who need it. I hope you enjoyed this little roundup and face and brunch with Britt moment, and there will be many more to come. So share what you're thinking about today. If anything about this video resonated, or just say hi in the comments. I like to hear from you more than you probably know. So thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you right back here real soon. Until then.